Hi guys, Tiffany here. I'm trying this again because I was talking to nothing and working while talking to nothing. Look at that. So let's see if this one works. If you are new to my channel, head down there, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, get notifications when I am live and or post videos, as well as share and like my videos. Give me a second to get this situated because I don't know why it wasn't working earlier. I couldn't pull up no live stream on there, so I guess I wasn't live. Oh, there it is. Okay. Aha. So there's a live stream now. And now I just got to wait for everybody to find their way back because I don't know how I was talking to nothing. Like the screen was on, the timer was counting, everything was working. I don't know why. I was working, doing things, explaining things, and talking to nothing until you guys said, "Are you there?" or something, or waiting or something. I didn't even see that. So, all right. So now I'm hoping that you guys all come back. So while we wait for everybody to re-find me and say something, I'm official. Tiffany's Quilting Life on a shirt. Look at that. So it's a birthday gift from my daughter. It came early, so I'm going to wear it early. Made by T with T Quilts. You guys all know T with T Quilts. She has a channel. If you want, you can go check that out. She made my shirt for me, custom. Look at that. So awesome. And I wear a large, and it fits perfect because I'm broad-shouldered and big boobs, so I have to have a large or else it's tight on me, and then I can't move my hands around. So yes, this little body does wear large. What else was I going to say? So I got this, and I got a T Quilts button. You guys have probably seen that if you guys follow her channel, as well as I got a car decal. This says I heart to quilt, and the heart is patchwork. I'm pretty sure you could see in that position what it's going to be like. It's going to go on my car, so that's for that. And it was from my daughter, Alexa, for my birthday. So I have this, and now I have my shirt. It's great. And I only have one viewer, so I'm thinking something's wrong again. This is working here. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I'm going to see right now with my wonderful people that help me make sure things are working correctly. Is anybody else here? Let's see. There's two people. I'm also live at the same time as another channel a lot of people watch is live as well. I didn't realize anyone else was live. But that's okay. I usually check, but now that I have more subscribers, it kind of really doesn't matter. So I was working and talking to nothing, and I didn't even know it until I hit a button on my screen that I didn't even know is a button. It doesn't look like a button, but it is. Anyway, so I'm cutting pieces out. I'm working on the Elsa Quilt, the Starflake blocks, as seen behind me. I needed more of these sections, the four corners. So that's 4 blocks I have to cut, or 4 pieces from the fabric for that. And then as well as these sections right here, I need to cut, and that's 2. This is 1 block here, and this is 1 block on there. So I hung them up so that I can make sure that I'm not making any blocks that are exactly the same. Here's my little diagram. So I can tell you that these 4 pieces, the side settings, are 7 3/4 cut into 4, which is this one right here that I'm going to work on right now. I'm going to cut up 7 3/4 inch. And I did make a video and post this the other day for any of you who need more still directions that you can pause. But this is kind of like an overview since this is the next thing I need to finish. And then these blocks is 1 block cut in half on the diagonal once to help sew it together. Those are 7 1/4 inch. So it makes a nice flush block that I can just trim up, and I'm going to probably try to trim them to 20 1/4, 20 1/2 inch, somewhere around there. I'll see where they all are by the time I'm finished. But right now I'm cutting the 7 3/4 inch, and in the video I had already had these cut accidentally because I didn't realize I should have been recording that whole entire time. And I'm using the lines on my mat as well as my ruler for the sizing to make sure that everything comes out okay. So first I'm going to start by cutting off my selvage. Hi Diane, hi Teresa. Oh my God, stay. All right, so these are 7 3/4. So I'm going to go to 7 and I'm going to line up my 3/4 inch line with the ruler on the 3/4 inch line on my mat. I'm going to cut one and then slide it out of the way and cut another one. I'm just going to line it back up on the line. I'm trying to use the mat's numbers and I don't want to do math tactic count over again. So we're going to line this back up, 7 3/4, and cut this. I'm going to get 4 blocks out of that. I'm going to move that out of my way for now, so I don't need that. And now I'm going to cut these on the diagonal twice for this block size. So I'm cutting it once on the diagonal, keep it together, carefully move the ruler, line up the other diagonal, and cut it again. Hi, Misty. Okay, so there's one set. I'm just going to stack them all up because it doesn't really matter what order they end up in or what block as long as I pull from them. All right, so here's another one. So I'm going to cut on the diagonal one way, pick up my ruler, put it on the diagonal the other way. And then I'm going to again stack all 4 of these up and move on to the 7 1/4 inch squares, which are going to be cut on the diagonal once. I'm getting messages now, what's wrong with my live? I don't think they realize that I can't delete that video until later anyway, the mess up one. So I don't want people to think that's the wrong one. So that's probably why nobody's clicked on it. All right, so we'll wait. More people will join. They're probably realizing because there's going to be 2 live notifications. One's not going to work and one will work. So I didn't know it wasn't. I was just working and it was showing that the thing wasn't spinning or nothing. It was showing the counter, the time clock on it and everything. It was like 100% working on my end. I don't know why it wasn't working on everyone else's end. And I just pressed the button and then you guys said I was talking by the time I already pressed end feed. So yeah, so these ones right now I'm cutting. Again, these are the corner ones that are only going to get cut on the diagonal once. So that's 7 1/4. I'm just going to cut it on the diagonal once right here while I'm already here. So just one diagonal cut on that. Bring this one over, line it up on the mat. Come over to the 7 1/4 again. I'm using the mat and my ruler for this line. So here's 7 1/4 inch line past it with my ruler. And this will just get me 1 block for now with all these cuts. I'll have to make more cuts for more blocks, but for now, I'll just do 1. Okay. Let me just throw that out of the way for now. Okay. So I'm going to move these up here, move this up here, and I'm going to now lay out a block. I don't know how I can go and delete that other video so everyone stops hitting that one, because they're probably getting 2 notifications. All right. Hi, Michelle. All right, so I have my little chart here. Again, these are my charts. I've drawn 2 different ones, just 2 different colors, same thing. I just was laying the color order different. I'm going to grab all my diamonds. These are 2.5 inch diamonds. The video, again, is in my videos. It's called the Starflake block. I named it Starflake because it looks like a snowflake made out of star. So that's, I hung them up so that you guys can see. Hi, Billy. I said hi, Michelle, right? Yeah, okay. And I said hi, Misty. All right. So I'm going to make another one. Let's see. Start with light purple in the middle. I don't think I've started with light purple in the middle yet. So there's 4 light purple. Let's put some light blue with the light purple. Like this. So ooh, this one's going to be pretty. Pretty. Oops. Alternating colors, Tiffy. Alternating colors. Kind of like a pinwheel. But I don't have to. I could actually lay them out however I want. In this one, we're going to put some white in this one. So I think I'll put white on the side of the purple. This. I can do them however I want. That's the fun part about this. And then I'm going to use this lighter purple, not the darkest one. On this side, like this. Yeah, like that. That. Is that the right side? I don't know if that looks correct. Maybe that one wasn't correct. That's why. Aha! There we go. Takes a second, you know, get it situated. And then I'll put that there too. Let's see. It's all about just having fun. No. Yes. Make it look like it's spinning. Let's put some more of this light purple in here. Like that. No. Yes. No. Something's messed up here. Purple then white, like that. Hold on, let's pull that away for a second. And even I confused myself. So on the purple, we're going to put purple on one side, white on the other, like this. On the purple, we'll put purple on one side, white on the other, like this. Pull those away. Purple on, white on one side, purple on the other. And then on the tips of the blue, we'll put the purple, like this, like that. And then add the baby blue. No, because it's already there. I'm having fun with this, let me tell you. We're going to put, no, we're not going to put more white. We're going to put more purple. More purple. Good. And I think I'm going to replace the white with the blue. See, I change my mind so often, guys. Hi, Cindy. Trying to make sure I say hi to everyone. Yes, I like this way better. 3, which is the pop of brightness. I like that. So they're kind of like 4 patches. So there's a 4 patch, there's a 4 patch. Make sure that they're all the same. I think it goes this way. That's why it was looking weird. One was the wrong way. Purple's on the outside of blues, purple's on the outside of blues. And it goes blue to purple. So I separated it like that. And I think that looks good. They're all the same. Starts with blue, has 2 purple, lands with dark purple. Starts with purple, blue and purple, ends with purple. Blue, dark, blue, dark, blue, dark. Okay. So here's one. Let's start sewing it together. So I like to chain piece everything I do. I know this is probably what confuses 90% of people, but right here is a section, and right here is a section, right? So what I end up doing is I take all of these, as long as they stay in that order, all of these, like this, creating a big, large 4-patch diamond, you know, like this. I stack them all up. Like this. As long as they're all stacked the same exact way. And last pile. This is the order I want them in. I take them like this as my diamond. I don't need my chart now. And we are going to come over. For those just joining, look, I got a shirt for my birthday. It says Tiffany's Quilting Life. I am for real. Check that out. And the butterfly at the end of life, if I could hold that up, has stitching around it. Isn't that so cool? It's a gift from my daughter. Look at that. And T with T Quilts made it for me. So if you guys are new to my channel or new to YouTube, you guys can head over and go see T Quilts as well. I love watching her channel and her videos. All right, so for now, I'm going to move these out of the way. And I got a car sticker too. It's for my birthday, even though my birthday is less than a month away now, but it's for my birthday. It's a gift. All right, so I'm going to start sewing these, and I'm going to show you. I'm wondering if I can scoot the camera closer. Ooh, I can't. I have a mess right there. I was going to say, if I scoot the camera closer, you can see what I'm doing here, but it's impossible with the mess that's over there. So yes, very sweet of her to do that for me. Very, very sweet. And I guess she knew that I watched T Quilts to know that T makes t-shirts, but I had showed her the video because I said, well, if she wanted a custom sticker, maybe T could make it for her because T also makes stickers. So yeah, I told my daughter. So if she wants custom sticker for her car in the future, that's something that she drew but turned into a sticker, she could just send it to T and T can print it out and make a sticker properly. So I think that's where she got the idea. So here's my pile. I'm going to take these top 2. I'm going to keep them in diamonds. As you can tell, there's one big diamond. I'm going to take these top 2, put one on one side, one on the other of me, and I'm going to chain piece all of these through. And I always sew diamonds the same exact way. There's something about diamonds that you have to do it this way. When you're making a diamond, and you can see, I'll hold it against my black shirt so that you can see there's always an opening here on the side. There's a 1/4 inch right here and a 1/4 inch right here of point that sticks out. You need to align them like that. And I showed you in the video that I posted the other day, if you guys want to follow along, a regular speed video instead of a live video. That's how I make them. Oops, I forgot to change this number since I sewed earlier, but I'm going to bring this over so that you can see anyway because it's a very wide stitch, so I'm going to stitch it again. So there's always a 1/4 inch sticking out both sides, creating a V. And you start your stitch in the top of the V and then come down to the bottom of the V. I have to obviously restitch this. Those are some very wide stitches, but that's just how it works so that when you open your diamond up, it creates one straight line on both sides. Okay? So just so that you guys know, that's how it works. Now I'm going to restitch it because it's not a very wide stitch. I mean, it's a very wide stitch. I don't want a very wide stitch. I want a tighter stitch. I have it at like 2.2, which would be like 2.2 on a machine, machine that's digital. And I'm just going to chain piece these through. Yes, thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. I usually do my thumbs up when I watch other live streams right before, like, okay, when I go to enter the video, before I press the chat button for the chats to come up, I usually just press thumbs up there. whether you're not going to like the video or you're going to like the video or not, those thumbs up and thumbs down are there for a reason. Reason being, and I've already read all this stuff about it on the YouTube and realized that the videos that have more likes and more views, the likes and views, even if it's a dislike, but likes and views, those thumbs up buttons are the ones that are in the suggestions for the next video to watch. So when you're watching a video on YouTube and the video is over and a list of videos either on a computer comes up on the side or on a tablet and phone and it comes up in the bottom of suggested videos to watch, that's how those videos get there. The ones that you like while you're watching live streams or videos, the ones that you like and press the thumbs up to are going to be the next kind of videos, the related videos you will get. So if you're liking all the videos that are quilting related, your feed of videos that you're going to see as the suggested video for you is going to be a video either from that same person and or someone else, but of the same subject. That's how it's found. So if you like watching kitties make a mess of toilet paper and you keep pressing thumbs up on those kind of videos, you're going to keep getting related links of kitties watching, making a mess with toilet paper. If you like watching, like I watch birthing videos, if you keep liking birthing videos, you're going to get related links of birthing videos and shows of birthing videos. So it's just how YouTube works and how your suggestions work. And it also helps my channel at the same time. It helps YouTube see that my videos are being watched and liked and so on and so forth. So, because there's activity. So now that I have all these chain pieced, yes, that's how all diamonds are placed. It's if you don't do it that way, they will never come out straight. They have to be offset. And then you just open it up. I'm just going to finger press this whole project until I get to that last moment, and then I'll plug the iron in. I'm just going to finger press all of these like so. So once you do that, and it's nice and straight, and you have a straight, both sides, one side will always have a little piece that sticks out. You can see that. I put it against my shirt so you can see there's a little piece that sticks out. That little piece is the dog ear. And we're just going to trim that off. And I'm going to place it in its pile right here. So I'm just going to trim all these dog ears off at the same time. I'm not even pressing them first. There's no point in it. I mean, you can at this point, but I'm actually teaching you guys that some of those steps, you could skip them. I mean, if you want to get things done and you want to get it done, you have a certain amount of time to do it. The steps that I skip doesn't necessarily mess up your block or anything. It's speeding up the process, because when I finish doing this, I'm going to take it over and press it anyway. So whether you finger press it or press it, I'm eliminating one step. So instead of going to press all these pieces, making these press them, making these press them, making these press them, I'm going to make the whole entire unit, then press it, if that makes any sense. It's one less step. They still line up exactly the same, no matter if you press it or not. It's going to line up the same way because you push the seam out of the way. So I know two issues have came up from people saying, why do you skip certain steps, blah, blah, blah. I tried, but it's not just the way I do it or the way I'm teaching it. I'm showing you a certain way. If you follow that specific way, it should work in that order, Any other teacher, they all teach the same exact thing, certain ways, and so on and so forth. So see, I finger press this one. Actually, I need to finger press it the opposite way. What am I thinking? So this block was finger pressed towards the light purple, and this one's being finger pressed towards the light purple, so that they are opposing. And I didn't chain piece that one through because I was talking. But so just because I'm skipping a step doesn't mean it's going to mess anything up. It's just speeding up what I'm doing, if that makes any sense. So don't be afraid to try things the way I do them. If you want to get something done in more faster time instead of getting up and getting down and getting up and getting down. And if you have an ironing board next to you, then I would say that's easier. But unfortunately, mine is not next to me, and it is a big ironing board. And if I bring the other one, then you guys lose sight of me. So I end up somewhere else in this room. So now I'm finger pressing towards the light purple. I finger press towards the light purple on this one, and now on this one, I'm going to do the same with these. Finger press towards the light purple and towards the light purple. It will opposite my seams. Hi, Vicky. All right. So again, these have dog ears. I'm not going to get them out of order, but I am going to take my little snips that I shouldn't be using for fabric. I use them for thread, but they are right here. And put this back in my little diamond order. And it's really easy to get them back in order, because if you lay them like this, and I know you can see the table, it creates a diamond again. Now, just grab my little snips back up because I know I'm going to need them. Putting these two together now is going to be the same exact thing as putting one together. Now, you guys know I don't pin. You can pin, but this is such a small seam. It's not like a Lone Star where you're connecting 15 diamonds in a row or something. You know, you don't have a big long row of them. This is just connecting two. So I'm going to take the top one, put it over the bottom one, and it's the same procedure. I'm going to make sure that a 1/4 inch is sticking out up here and a 1/4 inch is sticking out down there, so that when I lay it here without pinning it, and I come across, and I'll bring it up to the screen in a second. Let me just lay it on here nice and flush. It's such a small seam. Let's see. And this one doesn't come out that great. So I can either leave it or I can fix it. And I'm going to tell you how to fix this right now. So you can see it's not very perfect. It's off quite a bit. So I'm going to pluck out literally that amount right here. So from here to here, I'm just going to pluck that out and watch. I'm going to look at it and say, this light purple needs to go that way. So just wait. And yes, normally they line up, but always in videos it never works because I make these pretty darn quick. And I don't pin anything. I'm lazy with pinning, let me tell you. I think it takes too long to pin. There's some pinning though, right there. They're pinned to the quilts to hold them on the wall. So I'm literally going to take this apart right here, and I'll show you with my finger in a second. Pull it apart. So there's my fingers in it. It's open. You come to the screen. I only opened a little bit. So remember when I said that the purple needed to come this way? So I'm just going to put it back together like this and use my finger to shift barely, because it only needed to barely be shifted, this piece that way, so that it pulls the purple the way I need it to go. Lay it back here again, and I'm going to start stitching about, I don't know, 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch away. Just going to hold that down. Aha, much better. So now it is lined up. So I'm going to do that again and again and again and again. So I'm just going to lay it 1/4 inch down, line it up under the machine, line the other 1/4 inch side, hold the center, check it again, and that's perfect. Lay it there, grab another one. See, if I kind of do it my speed and not the describing speed, I don't mess up. That's the only thing about me making my videos. My teaching speed is different than my normal speed. And that one lines up. All right, one more, and then I got to get to these ones. And then I'll press them and show you how the next step goes. Lining it up, it's sticking out 1/4 inch. If you want to stick a pin in, you can. You stick the, I'll have to show you with the next set. I'll definitely just show you with the next step. Watching to see if I can try it. All right, next set. So I'm just going to throw these through like this. This was the bottom one, that was the top one. Again, just going to line them up, sticking out 1/4 inch. chain piece all of them through, right sides together. These are 2.5-inch diamonds, so that you know they're made from 2.5-inch strips. And if a strip is folded in half and you cut diamonds, you get 5 cuts for the strip, and you'll be left with little triangles. All right, so I'm going to press these ones again towards the purple. I'm just going to lay it right there, finger pressing it towards the purple, towards the light purple, not the blue, because the other one has a darker purple, or like a, I think that's like a fuchsia color. As well as I need to trim all these dog ears off, put the block back where it goes, the way it goes. See, I always put one down so that I know. Just lay them all back down, just trimming off that little dog ear. It's actually, on some it sticks out one way, and on some it sticks out the other way, depending on which way your seam goes. All right, grab these next ones. Only if you help, she makes it look easy. It is totally not hard. I don't make it look easy. It is easy. Diamonds was one of the things I started in the beginning. People always was saying, like, when I first found videos, everyone says it's hard, blah, 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 blah. Something about diamonds I found easy. So I guess I picked up on it right away, like super quick. Okay, one more. Put that on there just right. And if your blocks are all cut the same, they should all, in turn, lay the same. They should all lay on each other at the same exact positions. Pressing towards the light purple, since the other one, the light purple is at the top, and this one, the light purple is at the bottom. Just pressing the seams opposite ways of each other. Less bulk in the end. I'm going to trim away the dog ear, lay it where it goes, so that I could sew all those together. Okay, so all those are together. My thumb does not fit in these scissors, and it always goes to the super top. All right, so I'm going to do it again. 1 piece, 2 piece, right sides together. Same exact procedure. I'm going to leave that tip up here, and then the tip sticking out down there. You can see against my shirt, there's a little bit sticking out on each side. It always looks funny. I'm going to lay it under here, drop my needle down, and sew on down by holding that middle. You don't have to pin it. You can. Oh, I was going to show you how. That's right. So I'm going to open it up. So here is the no pin one, and I'll show you a pin one. So here's no pin. It lines right up, creates a straight line. I mean, it's kind of ever so slightly off, but pressing it will actually change the look of it once it's pressed. So now I'm going to throw a pin in this one. So I'm going to bring these over to you guys so that you can see. So I'm going to put them together like this. Okay. And I got a little bit sticking out on this side, a little bit sticking out on that side. See? A little 1/4 inches. I'm going to lay it on my shirt so you can see. So it's a little bit on each side. Now I'm going to put a pin.
Show them all your new shirt?
Yes. I'm going to take a pin, and I'm going to stick it in about a 1/4 inch away from the edge.
You need me to get your water in?
No, I don't want it. So I'm going to stick an inch, about the 1/4 inch seam in the long position right there. Then I'm going to open it up and say, oh, that's not going to match. So I'm going to change and adjust my pin, or adjust my piece a little bit. It's going to go that way just ever so slightly. Put that pin back in there. The 1/4 inch seam mark. Open it back up and go, okay, with the pin right there, it will match. Okay, so when it's open. So let me go sew it with the pin in it. And when I get close to the pin, I will pull it out. Diamonds just are a little bit more tricky with pins because, so I'm right at the pin. I'm going to start pulling it. Slide the rest of the way through. Now here was a pinned block sewn. And it's going to be the same exact way. Look at that. It does not line up completely like, it just lines up just the same, whether you pin or don't pin. So it still creates a straight line. Once it's pressed, it will be nice and flush. Okay? So which way was I finger pressing these? Out that way, towards the blue. Okay. So I'm going to lay that on there. So there's really no difference with or without a pin. So I choose not to pin. Personal preference. You can do it. See how it works for you. Diane's in Texas. I know that. You're supposed to be glad to help. Oh, Cindy's in Bakersfield next to Michelle. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to line these up. Go on down. Open it up. Check it. It lines up perfect. This one came out better than the pin one and the pin before, the one that I didn't pin before that. It's literally right on top. All right, one more. Press that the right way. Okay, good. Lining up. Lay it on here. Hold that center just because it's acting like a pin, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. My finger acts like the pin. You know, I don't know. All right, now that I have all these finger pressed and all my seams are going the same way, I'm going to take and cut off the dog ears because I need to do it anyway, no matter pressing or not. I'm going to cut them off now. Oops. Don't cut your block. So I'm going to cut them all off now because they have to match up with another thing and I don't want any of those in the way. So this one's done. Let's pull these ones off right here. And I'm going to take these over to the iron and press everything real quick, which will fix any seam mishaps. I mean, really, it's not horrible. I'm just going to make a little pile of those. All right, so I'm out of the screen for a second. I forgot to plug the iron in, which is tangled. And you're going to yell at me probably for the way the quilt is sitting over here too when I turn the camera. You guys are going to get mad at me. Yes, there is a bunched up quilt just sitting there. I don't mean to do that. Luckily, Cindy got a great teacher for quilting. Aw. Michelle's definitely a good teacher to help. And you guys got me to watch while you can't figure anything else out. All right, so now I'm going to press these. And I have to be careful because my iron likes to catch the tips of my corners. So I kind of just lay the iron on top of it. Instead of going back and forth like this, I kind of just lay the iron on top so that the point catches the point. Slide it up and down. Everything's pressed in the same direction, so. Just gonna lay this on here, heat them up, lay them flat. They are already finger pressed, so they already lay nice and flat, nice and flush. Everything's looking good. One more. Gotta fix that seam real quick. That's the one that I ripped to line the block back up properly. Okay. So there's those. Now let's come back over here so I can show you the next step. Stay. All right. So now those are made. Just gonna move that out of my way. There's no kids running around, so nobody's gonna get hurt with the rotary cutter. So now I'm gonna lay these back out like this on my board. So it goes that one and that one like this. That one, oops. That one. And that one. And that. Yeah, I'm doing something wrong here. That way. Like that. That way. Like that. No, it does not. That goes there. This one goes here. Like that. And if you didn't like it like that, they're already all sewn in the same exact direction. And I think this one's turned that way. Ah, there we go. They're all turned. So if you wanted to move it around, they're all made the same. So there's two different blocks and you can lay them out. You get where I'm going here. So that's on the tip, 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 purple, like purple. And then it creates a pinwheel here, so on and so forth. So the next step, the corner triangles, the setting ones, need two over there, two for here, two for here, like that. And this helps this block go together so simply. I know it has seams, but normally I probably wouldn't have used white. Normally with these kind of blocks, I actually use black, but it takes away the look for having a snowflake. If I was to have used black, white gives me snow. So now that 7 1/4 cut on the diagonal once, it's fitting in right here like this. Again, you need 4 of them, 4 blocks, like that, and like that. Creating, same as I said in the video that I made, sections, 8 sections like this. Okay. So now, just going to, again, same procedure. I'm going to sew it, place it down. So I'm going to sew all of these first on all the side setting ones, like so. So I'll just do all the side settings first, lay them back, and then grab the other ones, the corner pieces. So I'm going to start right here with this one. I'm just going to start sewing all of them. Folding puts creases in the quilt. Yes. So does bunching it up in a pile and throwing it on an ironing board. But it's not bunched up in the center where I want it to stay nice. So it's good. Oh, these corner ones as well, when you're attaching these are going to be the same procedure. So if this corner, can you see, because I'm using white, if this corner piece right here needs to be flush on this side, okay, on the left side of it, you're facing it, is if it needs to be flush on this side, because this is the other piece to it, this is the side you need flush. When you put this right sides together, you want that triangle right there to stick out 1/4 inch. That's how you attach triangles to diamonds. So I'm going to show you up at the screen. It's sticking out. See that? So if you wanted it to be flush, when it is opened up and you want that line right there to be flush, you have to stick it out on the bottom. Okay? That's where it's sticking out. Okay? Just so you know, when you're attaching these kind of blocks. So I'm just going to grab them and sew them. And I don't forget which one needs to be sewn on which way, I guess, if that's the word for it. Once I make one block, it kind of becomes a repetitive thing. So I know that this one gets turned upside down, the other one's right side up. Sewing from the back or from the top. It becomes a habitual habit the more I do it. So I just do it over and over and over, chain piecing them all through. Does anyone have any questions since I'm doing this live? You know, if you were watching the video from the other day, if you had questions on it. They say to roll it like carpet, but I don't think so. You know how hard it is to roll a 10-foot quilt, though? That would be so hard. I fold it in threes. So fold the right side in towards the middle, the left side in towards the middle, creating a pretty wide thing as a V, and then fold it on top of itself. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I do that with all my tops when I hang them. All right. So now I want these all pressed towards the triangle. So I'm going to finger press first. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and you see that this piece is sticking out like this, like that. I want that gone. So I'm going to take my scissors and chop that off nice and flush with the block. So I remember that this one goes here. So I'm going to snip this, finger press right here where I am at. Again, I'm just skipping the ironing step, even though the iron is plugged in. So this one will go here with that. This one goes with that. Grabbing the next one, finger pressing it towards the thing. And see, again, when I said you're lining it up, this is the side that's lined up. Again, it's nice and finger pressed, so I'm going to cut this end off right here, flush with the block. That piece goes here with that one. Grab the next one, finger press it towards the colors, not the white. And, you know, I know that on this block, I should be rotating the seams, and I know which way they are actually supposed to go. But because I'm using white, I'm only folding over the corner when I get to it. So that one goes there. I'm doing that on purpose so that I don't see as much fabric in the white areas, because that annoys me when you see dark colors under the white. And this white is kind of see-through, so it's not the normal white that I normally buy. So I ended up, you know, doing the pressing differently so that it at least looks nice. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm just finger pressing right here where I'm at. And I could sit down and do this if I wanted, but it's going in the opposite order from where I started. So that would be the next one. Finger pressing it towards the darks. Grab my scissors, cut that off. Put this piece, oops, right here. I don't know what I was thinking of moving it, but that's because they were laying on top of it. Finger pressing it again, grabbing the scissors, snipping off that end, and stick it right here. So all these little pieces are now going to get sewn together. And I'm just going to go around it again, sewing them together. What I saw was like to butterfly it. I don't know. There's tons of ways and lots of videos to do the quilt, you know, to put quilts away. All right, so here's this piece. I know you can see it, this section right here. I'm going to be attaching the corner triangle to it. And again, you want it flush, right? So you want all these to come out flush. So when you put it right sides together, again, you're going to put a triangle piece out on that end. You will not get a flush block if you try to line the end and corner. If you try to align it like this, and I know you can see that because it's white on purple. If you try to put that triangle on the inside of that diamond, you will not have a flush block. So you need to shift it. And this, and the pattern that I wrote for this, and I gave you guys the directions in that video, they come out flush. Let's see. So that triangle, this top part of it will be flush with the top part of this, as well as that corner right there sticking out. So it should always line up right here if you do it right every time. And I designed this myself, so with all the measurements. These are my own personal design. Like I said, I like working with diamonds. What can I say? So on this one, because of the whole pressing to the dark and not to the white, I do have to fold a seam down when I join these the opposite way. So this is, I'm going to be pressing towards the colored fabric like this. So even though it's being pressed towards this color, that seam, and when I go to do this one, let me put this one together. I have to show you guys this because I know it seems weird to do, but I only did it because it needed to be, I need the white not have many seams underneath it. I don't want it to show. I think it looks tacky when it shows. Well, to me it does. That's my own personal opinion. Okay, so even though I'm finger pressing it this way, I'm not ironing just yet. When these two sections come together, one seam should go one way and the other seam should come out the other way, so that when these two are right sides together, they would nest. See? So if I have them both to the white, it's just going to create a big lump. What I do is when I'm sewing it, to see how this seam is opposite of this seam, see that? So those are correct. Those will nest nicely and match up at the end when I hook these together. But this, I will just use my finger to push that down, align those two seams, and before I sew it, I will snip off that dog ear so it doesn't get caught under my little foot thing. So make sure, but I only sew it to that corner, so that 1/4 inch. The rest of it, I will press facing that way. So it'll have like a little fold in it, but I do that on purpose because I don't want the white fabric to be I don't want the dark showing under the white. So I'll show it to you when I get to that. Let me just finish attaching all these. Tiffany, is that block bigger than the blocks on the wall? No, none of these have been trimmed yet. They're all the size they need to be. The only one that's been trimmed is this one, and I trimmed it to 20 inches. But I don't like this one. I'm not in love with it. So since I'm not in love with it, I have decided to make 2 blocks instead of 1, because I only needed to make 1 if I would have kept this one. So I'm going to leave these the size that they are and trim those according, instead of to 20 inches like I did this one. And this one I'll just throw in the back of the quilt. I don't like the pink color. I don't like how the pink turned out in it. So I'm just going to throw this in the back of the quilt. The pink looks great in this one right here. The pink looks great in that, but I think there's too much pink in that one. So that's my own, designer's choice, I guess is the word for it. So let me finish sewing all these real quick. And they all should line up nicely. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Sometimes they don't, but that's okay too. That's why they get trimmed when they're done anyway. So I'm flipping one upside down, around the right side up the way they're being sewed, so that I don't have to sew from the wrong side. I always like to sew from the V tip. So whether the block is upside down or right side up, I'm always sewing from the same direction. Because it's a diamond, and that's just the way I like to sew. It was nice and bright. I'm just going to put it in the back. Oops. Why did I just do that? I'm talking. Yeah, I'm just going to throw it in the back of the quilt, because I still have to back the quilts, and I don't know what I'm backing it with anyway. So I might just add blocks, make it reversible. Who knows? We'll see how I do it. Pretty sure it's going to go in the back, though. That's what I do with all random blocks and leftover fabric for customer stuff. Okay, I'm not out of bobbin. I just lost my threading, I guess. I don't know. That was weird. I wonder if that last one has in it. Sometimes that happens when you take off too fast. Nope, that's stitched. That's weird. Okay, come on, get in there. There we go. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I do with it. If I don't, you'll know, because I'll let you know. Okay. There's that one. Now this one. Again, I like sewing from the V side right here, where it creates a V, down towards this side, in case they don't line up, because sometimes they don't. They're not always perfect. Sometimes they do line up perfectly, though. The pattern is wrote for it to line up correctly, but I'm a speed sewer, and I sew through my projects. All right. Finger press it towards that. Grab the next one, line over the next one, just because I can. Bring it up here. Finger pressing it. Right there. So this one. You guys probably wonder how I don't get myself out of order at these speeds. I did it first. When I first started quilting, I got out of order a lot until I got like a system down. That's how I can stack a ton of blocks and chain piece them all. All right, so now those are done. I'm going to give them a little press. So I'm just going to grab two because it creates a quarter. And I want it to lay nice and flat. It's already finger pressed, so everything should be nice and flush and flat. And I'm making sure, even though I'm going to be flipping an end, I'm still pressing that seam. So that's on there. Put these over here, grab two more, and so on. Stay. The press is funny because there's two seams going the same way. Normally I wouldn't do that, but I am with this. I'm never buying this white again, ever, ever, ever. Scott's been on the hunt to find me a different white that's affordable because I go through so much of it. White, black, and gray are my main colors that I go through quite often. And one more set of two. And they're already finger pressed, so they should, in reality, press really nicely. There we go. All right. Hi, C. Lopez. Tiffany, I've had quite a few customer calls lately. C. Lopez, hi. Found you. You are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now to join these. So I'm going to put them right sides together. Like I said, this seam is going this way and this one is going that way. And no, it's not my tension, the little thing raveled. I'm going to line those two. This is the only time the tips of those diamonds will actually line up. It's the only time is when you're joining these two. So those two seams stay nested. You could throw a pin in it if you want. No, me, I don't pin. Then I'm going to take this bottom one and I'm going to flip it up. So when I go to sew, I'm going to chop that away real quick. I'm going to sew my 1/4 inch seam, but when I press the block open, I'm going to flip that back, and you can snip it if you want. I just flip it and it creates just a little tiny thing because I press the seams open, so it's okay. So I'll just flip it back just a little bit and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to start up here at the tips of the diamond. The only time you line diamonds up is when you're joining them like this. It's the only time. Unless you're making something completely different and they line up. That would be per pattern, I guess, how they work that way. I'm going to hold the seam. Now I'm going to, once I've got to that seam, I'm going to flip that piece, trim that little dog ear off because I don't need it, because I'm going to be trimming, pressing it, and I want it out of the way. It's too much fault. I'm going to sew beyond that. Be very careful sewing the rest of this because that is a bias edge. It's very stretchy. Sew the rest of the way down. So now, even though I flipped it, for some strange reason, it went and sewn itself in flat. Don't know how it did that. Got stuck, but everything lines up. So I'll show you in a second how I press the seams open. Let me attach all these. So I'm attaching one side to the other on all of these, like that. And I'm still going to flip it. That one just flipped when it got to the press, or the feed dogs, probably. I don't know what happened, but that's how it worked out, I guess. It always happens like that. Something happens. All right, so I'm going to flip one, keep the other one. Just going to trim off that little dog ear. You can flip the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. Whatever's easiest for you. When you're using white. If you're using another color, the seams will be pressed opposite. So you can see from here, there's a flip right there. That's okay because I'm pressing that seam open anyway. Grab the next one. I'm lining it up without pinning it, then I'm trimming it. I'm using my finger as the pin. All right, last one. Seems like I'm flipping. Must have pressed one the wrong way because it needs to be flipped. That other one didn't need to be. Mix you up. Go on down. Take all those clip-ins. All right. So here they are. And now I'm going to press all these seams that I just sewn open. So I'm just going to take all 4 blocks, turn the camera, and show you how seams are pressed open. And they're all the same, every single block. Oh, they're not. That's why it lined up funky. This one's in the wrong order. See, I did that in my video tutorial too. This isn't supposed to be. This is supposed to be here, and this is supposed to be here. So I'm going to cut that out real quick, and then let me show you how these are pressed open, and then I'll trim that out because I don't want 2 blocks to be wrong. All right, so I take my fingers and I find the center seam. And this is something I don't normally do. I don't normally press open. And I use my fingers first before using the iron. And I just rub it along the seam till everything opens up, binding the whole thing all the way down. Kind of using my finger with my nail or the pad of my finger just to press down on it as I go. So the whole thing is open. Then I take my iron, come down it, all the way. Once it's pressed from the back, I make sure that little seam is flipped right there, and that the rest of these get pushed up every time with the iron. Then I come to the front, and I just kind of lay the iron down on it. The seam is pressed open, so it actually splits it, and it won't, you shouldn't get tucks or puckers or folds or pleats or whatever you call it with an open seam. So again, just going to split it open. Kind of mad. I was paying attention and that block still got turned around. I always know I did something wrong. Happens every time. Just using my finger to open the seam before I take the iron to it, or else I burn my fingers. I always burn my fingers. So be very careful with opening seams. Just got back. Had to start dinner. Hi, Missy. Cindy said yes, she saw the video. All right, so that's that. Just pressing it. So the seam is now open. So it's kind of spreading it out. And I got to bring these over there with me so that I can pay attention to the ripping and flipping of that whole block. I just have to rip the diamond out only, though. So I don't really have to rip anything else. Sorry, I was starting my thing. Usually I open it first, but it's not opening with the start. All right, slide my fingers down. Open it the rest of the way. Yeah, this is something you probably will rarely see me do, is this whole open seam thing. I'm kind of lifting the iron and then placing it down. And then coming at it from the top. Like I said, the only thing about an open seam is that it doesn't get folds or pleats, which we should do more often, but then you take the chance when you're quilting it and stitching in the ditch of separating the seams. So there's kind of like, it's I don't know how to say it, it's not right. All right, let's rip this piece out and set it the proper way. Sorry about the shaking. I want to make it to where you guys can still see the blocks on the wall. What is the block? It's called Starflake. All right, so hold on. Let's see what I'm ripping. I'm flipping this one right here. So I need my handy dandy seam ripper. My other one is still in the garage. I'm only going to rip out right here at the top just a little bit so that I can get in there. I'm going to rip down the whole side. And my seam ripping is not like everyone else. I think I hold my seam ripper differently. I don't know. I just get every other piece, every other stitch, I should say. That's the word I was looking for. And I just kind of just go all the way, and probably easier ways to do this. How many we got today? 21. Holy moly. You guys are all off of working at home and stuff now, huh? Hanging out. All right, so that's undone. Now I'm just going to undo right here. Oops, there it was. It came undone. Just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to undo this seam, leaving the rest of the block together. After I finish this block, I'm probably going to have to go because I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I left and then made video, and actually I made 2 videos. Do this whole side. Yeah. I did a lot of things, and we were still working on finishing up the cleaning up of the pool. So, and I put my hammock up so that I can lay in my hammock outside now, because that's the time of year it is, the time I can finally lay outside in my hammock and relax. Hopefully be able to sleep. We'll see. I know I don't mind sleeping outside, living in the desert with rattlesnakes and bugs and spiders and scorpions and you name it. I'll be up on a hammock. It's okay. If I get bit more than I'm always getting bit, though, I get bit really easily. If I get bit more, though, I might not sleep on my hammock. We'll see, though. We'll see how a night 1 goes. I'm going to take up my special. I need to make a specific quilt for out there, but I'm going to take a quilt out there with me, my hexagon quilt. Because I don't use it for anything else, so I might as well use it for that. Come on, get that stitch right there. All right, now I'm going to press that seam back out of the way real quick, even though I'm going to be sewing the other side of it, because I'm just turning the block the other way. I need that seam pressed back open again. And now I'm going to take this piece off, but I'm just going to flip the block and put the piece back on, because it's a diamond no matter which way you do it. So I'm just going to take this out, every other stitch, leaving this whole unit still together, like that. Just so you know, snakes and scorpions can climb. Yes, I know they can climb. Snakes especially. Those is what I'm worried about. But we haven't had a snake in our backyard in a long time. But we have had scorpions and camel spiders and stuff. But those are usually when the lights are turned on. So, because they come to light so that they can see the bugs easier, I think. I think that's why they come to light. Oh my goodness, come on. Did I skip a stitch? I'm going to press it before I turn it. That way the block is really flat when I go to sew it back on, because it was pressed towards that. And I don't want any folds underneath when I repress it again. Come on. It's like 3 more stitches. Alright. So that was sewn on. Like that. Let's press this real quick. I'll be right back at the screen in just a second. Let me get this nice and flat. I gotta steam it so it's flat again. And due to the fact that I hate the threads poking through in seams, I'm gonna use my fingers to pluck away all these excess pieces of thread on both pieces. Alright, so if this was like this, oops, like that. Let's make sure I do this correctly. That piece needs to go there instead. So this goes on this side like this. So I'm going to re-sew this back on. All those strings are nicely pulled away. It's a 1/4 inch away. And that end is cut, but I will cut off the little dog ear that's going to come from it. So I'm going to fold that open. Trim that little area right there. Nice and flush. Now, that should sit like that, and it matches the rest. Let's make sure, because I'm not going to rip again, even though I did mess up one. That's the same, that's the same, that's the same, everything's the same. So now, I'm going to sew this on here, like this, lining up my corner again, sew down it just a little bit. That's my little seam right here. flips. Come most of the way up to the 1/4 inch. And I have a little mark right there. Now there's a 1/4 inch opening. I can attach this one to this side. Fold all that in. My little piece sticks out. Oy, so much work. Just to rip a piece out. It's not that hard to rip out like a section, say if you mess up a section. And it can be done. Now to join these two. Knew I was missing something. And that one was actually cut up that way. Let's sew it down this right here. Buffering a lot. Teresa wants to know what the block is called. Didn't I say it's Starflake block? All right. All sealed. With some threads to go along with it. Thought I said what the block was called though. Now you got me thinking. I know I said it. So I'm just going to pull these through. Okay. Now let's press this seam open. Okay. Let's finger the seam first. Open it up. All the way down. I'll start it with the tip of my iron. This iron likes to grab. Those little thingies in it, it seriously grabs. Did you hear what I said about this being Starflake block? Size, it's 21 inches before being trimmed. Sorry, I'm trying to do this. I'm pretty sure it's 21. I wrote it all down. But I'll measure just to make sure that it's 100% accurate. And this block got a little wrinkled from picking and sewing back together again. But when I sew the whole thing together, it should just be fine. All right. Now I'll trim this. Without being trimmed, they are 20 7/8. Wind up. Pretty much 21. Like if it was really, 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 really nice and flat, they're 21 without being trimmed. I was going to trim them all down to 20 and a half or 20. The other one I trimmed to 20, but I don't want to cut that much off now. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with 20 and a half and call it a day. So, and these are all nicely pressed, starched, and ready to go. I just have to trim them. They're all starched and stuff. All right, now that block is correct. And it has a little boo-boo pucker in it, but I'm not going to care. All right, now it should be exactly the same. Are you kidding me? That way, that way, that way, that way. Same, 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 same. Every block is the same. All right, now I'm going to get rid of where I press the seams open. These little dog ears for pressing the seams open. So I'm just going to get rid of all of those with the scissors. You could use a rotary cutter. That's what I was using when I first started doing it. Looks easy, but the scissors are right next to me. Get rid of all those. Have a nice big pile developing. Now it's one big 4-patch. So all I do is right sides together, sew down this side, right sides together, sew down this side. But I'm going to start by doing just one at a time. And I'm going to start with the corners right here. I'm going to line those up. I'm not going to care about lining this end up where the white is. Again, it doesn't always line up perfect. The end, I mean. The start should. Better. The end might not always. So if I have to flip any seams, that's when I do it now. Just flip seams. Trim away my dog ears when I flip. Your biggest square ruler is 15.5. So when you have a larger block, what's the best way to square them up? Best way to square them up is a cutting mat that has numbers on it and a nice pressed block before you cut. If your block is not pressed really nicely, then your cut is not going to be flat and straight and accurate. So I'll show you without doing the cutting part though, because I'm not sure what size I want to trim these up to. So that one's together. So I'm going to finger press for now the seam to one side like that. I'm going to grab this one. So it would have been sewn like this together. So that's right sides together. I'm sewing down this side right here, lining these up at the top first. And then nesting all my seams on the way down. Flipping some dog ears on the way. Lining up the two ends because these ones are lined up. Alright. That one is finger pressed that way, so this one will be finger pressed this way. Two squares are now going to come together like so, and this is the only time I pin. So I line these two up in the center like this, and I throw a single pin in right here to nest these seams. And when I sew down this, I am aiming, see, because the seam is pressed open, it makes it hard to see. I am aiming a 1/4 inch in so that when this block is opened, that I'm going to have points here. It's hard to see with a pin in it. So it's pinned for now. That center, lay it flat with my fingers, like so, you know. Come over here. Once the pin is in there, I can hold it nice and flush. However, anything wants to line up. I'm going to nest all my seams again. Case, use mat and a ruler to square it up. Yes. Hold on. I'll show you right now when it's not big enough. My biggest ruler is 12 and a half inches. Why did I say 20? The 24 inch. I have the 24-inch long ruler. All right. So all these seams are pressed open. So I should go slowly over it. It should line up. The goal is for it to line up. If it doesn't, I don't care. Because I'm not about perfection. That is why the other quilt is named Perfectly Imperfect. Because I'm not about perfection. I'm about finished is better than perfect. I sew to a seam, stop, line things up, so that the next. Alright. Here we go. I'm going to press this. I'm going to show you this last seam again. I usually won't press open, but this is one of those blocks that I need to distribute. I'm going to start right here in the middle real quick because it's hard to find that middle. I'm going to create my little X and I'm going to put my iron tip down in there to hold it open. I'm going to come down towards me, finger pressing the seam open. all the way down, then come up, stop. That's why I pressed it to the middle. Turn it around because it's a big block, especially if you only have a specific size ironing board. Mine just so happens to be oversized, so it makes this process so much easier. Weird thing is this ironing board has lasted longer, the fabric on it, than my other one that I made. That one, I don't even think it was like 6 months, and it already started, because I pressed so much, it already had started messing up. So we're looking for, this is not perfect, but this is what you're looking for. You're looking for all these right here in the center to come together, creating a point still. So this one right here is kind of in too far. These ones have their point still, but that one has lost its point. I don't care. It's for kids, so it really doesn't matter. It's not for a show or anything. Before I do anything, because for the trimming part, I'm going to take my starch. I'm going to starch this block really good. Let it sit for a second. Oh, the smell of these things. This one's fernet. No, that's how to say starch. I don't know what flavor, but it smells. Oh, there we go. Lavender. Ooh, it doesn't smell like no lavender to me. Okay, so I'm letting it sit with the starch. It's drying. Take my iron with no steam. Just press it on. To dry it. Even if I pre-starch the fabric and pre-press the fabric, I still starch the blocks. Big ones like this. I don't really bother with small blocks as much. But big blocks like this, yes. I really starch them. With the dry iron first. That way everything's nice and flat. Okay. Then when it seems dry, I will steam, which I can't really steam. There's not much water in my iron. Making it super flat. Once it's super flat, I will show you what we do. Okay. Nice, big, huge, super flat block. Be careful on the smaller irons, if you have a smaller ironing board, that you do not create a fold of it hanging off the ironing board. Make sure that you bring it back the other way, and instead of pressing at the top of the ironing board, just press the area that folded. And try to hold, if you can, hold the block up from falling, especially while it's hot, or wait for it to cool before you fold it over. And what I mean by folding it over is, say this was a smaller ironing board, and you can only do half of a block, and you have to hang it over right here. It's still hot, so it's going to, while you're pressing this side, this hot part has now formed a crease. It's not really like a heavy crease, but it's, see that? The lump? It's created a lump. So make sure that when you're pressing, say you press it, if you have to hold it over like this, hold it up on your body like this and press. Try to hold it up like this. Press the other side, and or when it's off like that, holding it, if it has to sit like this, bring it back after you press this side. Bring it back onto the ironing board, but only to that section. Then you would press that section like so, and you won't have another one because there's not much hanging off. Does that make sense? I'm hoping you realize that, because when I only had one small ironing board, it made a lot of crinkles and messes and blocks. So, hi Tanya, just got off of work. All right, so anyway, let me show you how this gets trimmed when you don't have a ruler this big, and I don't even know many people that have rulers this big. I didn't know they sold rulers this big. Here's this. nice and straight. The ruler that you do need, got so much thread everywhere. Right here, your 6x24. Everybody has a 6x24. Mine just happens to be pink. You're going to take the block. You start with one side. You're going to line it up on the lines on your cutting mat like this. Now remember I said some of these are straight, some of them aren't. You can see right here. Hold it up so you can see. See how it sticks out a little bit? We're not worried about that. We are going to square it. So we're going to pretend I'm cutting. So I would line it up as best as possible. I'm going to start with one side. I'm going to use the tips right here, all these tips, as guidelines. That helps for these kind of blocks. So you would lay a line on the ruler. So say I want the 3/4 inch line from the tip. So I would line the 3/4 inch line on the ruler with those tips. Everything's nice and flush. Make that cut, which I'd barely be cutting anything off. Okay, so one side is trimmed. Bring that side closest to you because now it's trimmed. You have a nice flush line at the bottom. The second one, you would cut, again, 3/4 inches away from the tip, like this. Make that slice. Now you have two square sides. If you turn it towards you, you have two square sides. Those two square sides, put in the corners, like that. So they'd be nice and flush along the ruler. Now you decide how big the block is. You already know it's going to be a big block because the outside, so if you're only trimming a 1/4 inch off, you're doing it exactly correctly. So I just cut a little bit off, pretended. Then this last one you say, well, it lines up perfectly now and it's 20.5 inches. I just need to trim this side. So I would again line this part now up with the ruler, the ruler with the mat, and cut it. Turn it one more time against me. See, making sure that all these lines are. Get where I'm going here? So if you put the line that you just cut away from you, you're never going to have a nice straight line on the bottom, creating your numbers 1 through whatever on your mat, if that makes any sense. Or you can just go by the ruler itself and all the points and only just line it up on 3/4 inch around every single point. Line this one up on 3/4 inch, line this one up on 3/4 inch, and then that is an undetermined size block, but that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, so that way I don't lose much of the size. I'm trying not to lose size. I want the size. So, okay. So I hope that tip helped. Other than that, here's my finished block. Now you see why I didn't want to press towards the dark. You can see those seams in the white. I hate that. I really do. That's one thing that really bothers me and why I don't use a lot of white fabric in like this kind of stuff. Little squares I do, but I'm able to press from the dark. For projects like this, I don't usually use white. So there it is. It's all fixed. Put that back together. So there's another one to add to the thing. I need to make one more. Or I could just not make one more. I don't know. We're going to see. Whatever. But I'm going to go eat and rest and let you guys get to going to bed too, because it's probably really late where you guys all are. It's 8:25 here. So you like to leave half. I like to leave quite a bit too. And on that other one, I trimmed down to 20 inches. That one has a like slightly above a 1/4 inch on the other block. So that's why I decided to make more blocks just in case. I'm not sure. But everything else, when it comes to the Elsa fabric part of this quilt, because it is a snowflake, it's a Starflake block quilt. The Elsa fabric is coming next. So when I get to that part, I will come back live again, and it won't probably be today. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow in the morning or something. I don't know. But I will come back on when I get to that next part to make those blocks, because they're going to mainly be Elsa fabric, but I'm going to use the leftover of my half-yard cuts to do that. So, yeah, which all those, the amounts of everything I used to cut all this to make a twin-size quilt is actually in the directions of the video for this block of how much I've cut so far. So I'll still have, let me pull this out. I'll still have this much of all these fabrics left to make the other blocks. So I still have plenty of fabric left to go, and I have plenty of blocks left to make piece borders and so on and so forth and everything else. So, yeah. Good night from New Jersey. It's 11:25. Okay, Casey Lopez, good night. Well, I'm saying good night to everyone. So good night to Diane, to Mizzy, Teresa. Hold on. Can't see who else is on here. Tanya and Michelle, and all 21 of those that have not been talking, because so far that's all I see, and Cindy. So those are all the names that are on here. So to everyone else that's not chit-chatting, don't be afraid to chit-chat. It's the same group every time. You guys will love each other. It's great to ask questions and talk amongst yourselves when I'm not talking. Other than that, thank you guys for joining. I love you all. And see, oh, look at my cool shirt. I love it. I love my shirt. I'm branded now. Tiffany's Quilting Life is here. Whether the shirt lasts as long as I do, we'll see about that. But I have a V-neck, so I don't have to worry about chopping a collar off and ruining another shirt. All right, guys. I will see you all next time I'm on. So thank you for watching. Bye. Ooh, there it goes right there.